But nothing lasts forever.
Well, it's been a long time since Marvel fans have had a new feature-length film to watch, but today they can finally get their fix. Black Widow is being released on both Disney Plus and in movie theaters, but is the Marvel magic still there? Well, let's talk about this. Let's bring in Eli Glasner in Toronto with a review of the film. Good to see you, Eli. You know, it's been some time. I don't even know where you want to begin here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do a bit of your Marvel homework. This takes place in the past in multiple ways, in between the events of Captain America Civil War, but before what happened to Black Widow. We know in Avengers Endgame, we actually begin with a flashback in the 1980s with what looks like a regular American family. We've got David Harbour and Rachel Weisz as the parents. They've got two adorable girls, except it's all a ruse. They're actually Soviet agents, and this is a setup for us to learn how Natasha and her kid sister Yelena were pulled into the Red Room program and eventually became killing machines for the Soviet Empire. And of course, eventually she defected. She became a SHIELD agent, as we see there. But in the movie, Natasha gets a clue from her past that leads her to Budapest, and now a grown-up, much more lethal version of her so-called sister. Let's take a look.
I know you're out there. I know you know I'm out here. So we're gonna talk like grown-ups? Is that what we are? It's good to see you too, sis.
All right, quite the family reunion. After that, and sharing a couple belts of vodka, they realize a small army of Black Widows are after them, and the hunt is on. This, Michael, feels like the movie Marvel should have made years ago. I mean, Black Widow's a critical part of the Avengers. She's saved Iron Man's bacon multiple times. In order to tell her story, they've actually brought in the Australian director, Kate Shortland, and I asked her, what was it like when you first met Scarlett, which was actually over a Zoom call from Australia? And what did Scarlett Johansson want from this film? Let's take a look.
And we talked about how do you heal a broken heart and family and violence. So as soon as we talked about that, I was in.
Yeah, I mean, she said the movie that Scarlett wanted to make was about trauma. And I think that is what makes Black Widow an interesting hero, in that she doesn't have powers. You knock her down, she groans a little. When she gets back up, she has this vulnerability. She is this wounded warrior that keeps going.
Now, as we've been saying, fans of Black Widow, of Marvel, they've been waiting a long time for this movie. So are they going to like what they see?
I think they're going to like it. I don't know if they'll love it. You know, Kevin Feige, the mastermind behind all things Marvel, is hyping this up as the first part of Phase 4. But really, this is about filling in gaps in the past. This gives Natasha Romanoff a little more depth. We learn about the red in her ledger. The contradiction for me is the same one in so many of the Marvel movies. They recruit these directors known for their kind of visceral, intelligent, indie picks, and then they become cogs in the Marvel machine. I mean, there's two movies here. There's the movie about Natasha trying to heal, learning to trust again. And then there's the other part with the massive prison break sequence and the flying fortress and the battle scenes with the copycat supervillain Taskmaster. And those are all fine. But what saved the day for me wasn't the action. It's Natasha's family. It's that woman, Florence Pugh, as the snarky super sister who has zero patience for heroes and their pose down. It's David Harbour, hilarious, as the Red Guardian, who sings Russian labor songs when they reunite before Rachel Weisz reminds them they're not really a family. Let's take a look.
So here's what's gonna happen.
Okay, reunion then, huh? And, I want to say something right off the bat. You haven't aged a day, huh? You're just as beautiful and as supple as the day they staged our marriage.
You got fat.
You see the looks on their faces as he's given that wonderful ode to his fake former wife there. Harbour is having a lot of fun as this over-the-hill Soviet super soldier. I wish Scarlett has as much leeway to enjoy herself, but it is a nice return to the MCU. 3.5 stars out of 5.